Good morning.
Good morning. Today's Monday, what? April what?
27.
April 27th. It is freezing cold.
Damn cold.
Damn cold. The wind is blowing. And Susan and I are out here in our backyard working on a planting bed that we started, about 2 weeks ago. And the planting bed initially is an extension of two large white pine trees that we've had planted back here for privacy for quite some time. And little by little, we decided to embellish the trees. First of all, by limbing them up, and then once we had them limbed up, we did some initial planting underneath them with some rhododendron.
Rhododendron, yep, and some kind of a fern. It's going to get 2 to 4 feet tall. I don't know. I don't remember the name. It's pretty.
It's a grassy fern.
Yeah.
Anyway, yesterday or the other day, I put a older water feature. It's a little bird bath that I had in the basement, and I stuck it out here with a solar panel, and we liked it so much we thought, well, we gotta keep going. We gotta add more to this and kind of beautify our backyard a little bit more. So our plan is to take all the plants that we have in our front planting bed, which essentially are for curb appeal, but we don't really get to enjoy it that much. It's way up on the street. A number of hostas and heucheras and some other plants, and reposition them down in these beds here.
So needless to say, we went down a rabbit path, but I went on to, you guys are fans of Overstock? Well, I went on to Overstock. I love frogs, and I got this really cute 2 foot tall frog standing next to our bird bath and the wind chimes. So it's going to be our little paradise oasis in the backyard that we've ignored forever.
Well, actually, we've been working on it little by little. The first thing that you notice in the backyard is our privacy fence. That's to give us a little privacy and screening from our next door neighbors. I did a lot of work here in the backyard, which is the north side of the house. The grass has always struggled back here. In the last couple of years, I've worked very hard to actually create a lawn back here. And now that that's come in, we've started to add more to it. Anyway, that's our project for today. We've got a lot of digging, a lot of remulching, and a lot of extending of,
And it's cold. Oh my God, listen to that.
Listen to that wind. I know it's going to mess up the microphone, it's going to mess up the audio. I apologize for that in advance. Hopefully it's not as bad as I think it's going to be, just for this one small segment of the video. But we have a lot to do today, and we're going to record that for you and share it with you, and hope that you enjoy it.
Let's go.
So let's go. The flags represent where we're going to be transplanting our plant material from the front yard. But as you can see, we got 2 separate planting beds that were essentially created by limbing up from underneath these 2 pine trees. And the plan is to connect both planting beds and make it one big planting bed, and move in all the other plants that we have up in the front yard, which primarily are shade-loving plants, and we're pretty confident that they're going to work real well back here. So, here in southern New England, unlike anywhere else in the United States, our soil is nothing but rocks and roots. So digging in our soil is always a pain in the neck. We have something like 20 some odd holes to dig for the plants that we want to put in. It's going to take some time. This is where we're starting. The first hole is to transplant one of our hostas. Okay, to give you some idea what the digging is like around here, this is the first hole that you saw me dig in real time. Not too bad to get through that. A few roots, some rocks. But here we go. Here was number 2. Plenty of roots in that sucker, and rocks. So we're in the front yard now at the front planting bed, and our first task is to dig up and move these hostas from our front bed. These are the guys we're transplanting. Just coming up. Well, I managed to dig up the hostas up in the front yard, and in so doing, one of the things that I discovered was that one or two of them are really struggling with their root system. In fact, one of them that was what we considered our late bloomer, the roots were actually growing above the top of the ground. So that led me to believe that when we put them back in the ground over here, we really need to loosen up the soil around them to give them plenty of room to spread out. And well, that's why they tell you, make sure that you dig your root ball hole twice as wide as a root ball. So I had to come back here literally with a crowbar that I used as a digging stick to really loosen up and dig out and remove as much soil around these holes that I've created to put these hostas in. So it wasn't, it was a lot more work than just digging the holes that you saw in the previous segment. Here's a little bit of what I'm talking about by the size of these holes. I made them quite a bit rounder, quite a bit wider to accommodate the root balls, which we've get some idea what they look like now that they're in the cart. But this one particular one, this one right here, was having a lot of trouble getting going. And you can see the roots were right up on top of the ground. Whoop, there we go. You can see the roots were right up on top of the ground. So we want to make sure that we give them plenty of space to spread out in these new holes and these new locations, and give them much chance of success as possible. So we're ready to put them in and throw in some fertilizer, backfill them with natural soil, give them a good watering in, and then move on to the next series of plants that we have to move over.
Time to fertilize. Love my plantain and I love the smell. It stays with you for a while. Anyway, off we go. I'm gonna have to stir that in, soften it in, and then put a little water in it, and then we'll plant. We're watered in. Let's start planting. Let's plant. Backfilling.
Well, well, you're going to water in afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, that I think is probably a shade too deep. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Just a fraction.
Yeah. All right, you do that, and I'll get the other ones going. Okay, we got all of our hostas replanted, and now we're working on the hookers we have. There's only 3 of them, and they're going to be planted where these flags are located. And I'm going to try a slightly different digging technique using a small auger to create these holes. Let's see how much luck I have with this. that first problem comes off pretty quickly. Well, that works pretty damn good. I think the root ball is all bigger than that though. All right, let's get the other two done. Ha.
Have a seat.
For a lightly powered drill, that thing works pretty good. I've used this before in a couple places, and when you run into some roots or some rocks, it can be pretty tough on your wrist. But in general, if you want to put in a few small holes pretty quickly, or put in a small hole and enlarge it, this is probably not a bad way to go. Let's get these guys in the ground now.
Well, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We started at what, 10:30? And we're almost done.
We're almost done. We transplanted everything. We've extended the drip irrigation to the new plantings. We've extended the planting bed, and now we're going to put back the mulch and add additional mulch that we're going to need for the new size of the bed. Almost there.
Almost. And before cocktail hour. Love my glass of wine at the end of the day.
Okay, more to come. Hang in there.
Well, guys, we're done.
Finally.
You know what? I think it was more a mental thing, thinking that this is going to be such a huge project, and it was, but it's so satisfying. I'm so glad we got it done.
I look like hell.
Oh
my
both
God.
do. Like,
We
whatever.
both do. But big project, but we're both glad that we tackled it today. We complained a little bit about the weather being so cool first thing this morning, actually cold. The wind has actually been horrendous all day, but you know what? If it wasn't for this temperatures and this weather, it would probably be hot and sweaty, and we never would have got this much done.
So I'm thankful for the March weather in April,
March
May.
Well, that's it for us for today. Thanks again for watching, everyone.
Thank you, and happy gardening.
Happy gardening. See you again.